Testing. Testing. We're going live. Hello, Matthew. Had to send out all the notifications. We had one person who told me he couldn't make it, so you know. Exactly. That's a Newhauser. Newhauser just nailed it. Paul can't be here. We can't do it. Anyway, this will be a simple stream. I guess it bears starting out the stream by saying, well, first of all, for those of you who are watching later as a replay, welcome. It'll probably take a couple minutes for us to get into the action if that's all you're interested in. You barbarian, not even interested in some sophisticated conversation. But if you're just interested in gameplay, probably don't watch me at all. I'm just learning War in the Pacific still. Which is to say that I've read 33% or so of the manual. Slightly under that, probably about 30%. 100 pages out of 300 and something. And I played a few times, a few different things, and I have look, I mean, the realism options are going to say everything. This is the way I play War in the Pacific right now. As the United States, I play, okay, with Fog of War, you can't avoid that. I can't play the game without Fog of War. It's not even just learning how to play the game, it's actually just a different game you're learning altogether. However, okay, so I've left advanced weather effects on as well, but I'm giving myself every conceivable advantage. Allied damage control, which is historical, so it's fine. Player-defined upgrades, sure, I don't really know if I'm going to be using this, obviously not until I play a campaign long enough where you can upgrade. Historical first term, December 7th surprise, turned off. Reliable USN torpedoes, very ahistorical, it's on. Realistic R&D, feel like this is historical, but basically it doesn't really play into anything but the major campaign. And no with unit withdrawals, also something which will benefit me when I finally get to the main campaign. So yeah, Lewis Devout has joined. Welcome. Like a G-Man joined. Oh, good. So I'm happy to see Newhauser. I don't know why I'm saying your name wrong. I've never said it wrong before in my life, I swear. Newhauser, an expert on War in the Pacific. Like a G-Man, also following. And I should actually just pitch right away. I probably even should have left a link to it in the video description. The XTRG, for those of you who are not familiar, what are you even doing watching this? But there's two content creators who I'm pretty close with. I'd consider us internet friends. The Historical Gamer and XTRG, which is X, that random gamer. He doesn't use his full name very often. He's just XTRG. So they have a very intense, very exciting, very worth watching series on War in the Pacific done from the Grand Campaign. They're playing from December 7th all the way till, if we're lucky, maybe December 7th of 1942. That may be a couple years off. I think they've made it to March or so right now. No, maybe not even March. Are they in February yet? Somebody can let me know. Oh gosh, it's already happening. The chat. Guillermo, I thought that you I thought you couldn't watch. Guillermo, also known as Folk. Matthew must can recommend a guy who did a playlist on the game. Feel free to. Naval War says, anyone else heard about the news of when Iran terrorists sent a missile and hit an oil tanker? Not sure what you're referring to. Oh, what? XTRG was summoned? So that's funny. XTRG is now in the chat. XTRG, if you are capable, here, I'll add you as a mod. The chat doesn't scroll. Add moderator. So, can you just leave a link to the playlist? Maybe people are interested in seeing it. Now, this is War in the Pacific at its finest, XTRG. Well, I mean, at its finest, I would say at its finest in the sense of its finest detail. The most precise, every little thing is considered. So, December... They made it to January 19. Okay, so I actually overestimated how far they've gone. Now, they started back in December, if I'm not mistaken, so that means that they're advancing at a rate of more or less one in-game month every 4 months of real life, which means that if we're lucky, the war will be over by December 2030. They may or may not make it that far. In fact, I guess the war will probably be over before that, just because victory will more or less be decided. But okay, so let's dive into the action. Today, I'm going to take things nice and slow. I don't know very much about the game yet, but I'm going to just try to make clear the things which I now clearly understand, and the things I don't understand, I'm going to just say that. Okay, I don't know how to do this. And we're actually going to start with a very simple scenario. The Battle of Coral Sea is so easy, even a person who's only read 30% of the game manual can do it. So thanks, XTRG, for leaving that. And I want to just make sure that we also, XTRG and the Historical Gamer being in a play-by-email series, we should always, of course, adhere to any spoiler warnings. There should be no discussion of that series in the comments in the chat. So please just refrain from any comments on those that, is anything related to what's actually going on. I mean, you know what? You just be sensible, right? I don't want to have to kick people. I feel like people can self-regulate very well. We all know what's appropriate to say and what's not. Very good. So let's jump into the action here. The Battle of Coral Sea. For those of you who don't know, this was the first carrier versus carrier encounter in the world. I hesitate when I say that. Is that actually... Wait, I might even say it here. Battle of Coral Sea. History's first purely carrier versus carrier naval engagement in which the principal warships involved did not come into visual contact and the outcome decided by aircraft alone. Wait, does that mean that there was an encounter where carriers came into visual range before this? I can't think of an example. Yeah, I don't know what... they really qualified this a lot, or maybe they were just adding extra detail. So they're probably just saying, these are this is how important carriers are, is that they can fight without coming into visual contact with each other directly. Yeah, probably, that's what they're saying. So I'm seeing people say no. Good, that's good to... Anyway, supported by carriers, the Japanese initiated Operation MO to take Port Moresby, of course, yep, Port Moresby, and Tulagi, and the seizure of control over the Coral Sea achieved through subsequent raids on shipping and bases along the northeastern coast of Australia. Allied intelligence has developed a relatively thorough picture of Japanese intentions and dispositions. As a result, the USN has committed a sizable carrier force of its own to foil the Japanese arrest. If I'm not mistaken, and we luckily have so many wonderful experts of World War II in the chat with us already. I believe that at this point, the US had already cracked the Japanese encryption code for their radio transmissions. And we already kind of knew what was going on. Just, you can't always... just because you have that information doesn't mean you actually know everything. You just... Right, but I'm not sure. XRG asks if I'm going to play Allied or Japanese. I'm going to be playing as the Allies. So I think that's clear from the main menu. I'm playing as Japanese will be computer, which means Allied is myself. So Battle of Coral Sea, we'll select that one. I won't go through the historical briefing. Feel free to read it here. I'll switch to the next page in a second, just to allow people who are interested in reading to read. You can pause right now if you're interested. Please do, because I'll flip to the next page now. And then this page as well. They cracked it during Pearl Harbor, and you are correct. So I have this idea that they didn't have it fully cracked at Pearl Harbor, but maybe I'm wrong. Everyone wants me to do Japanese. Well, the thing is, I have this idea of what a YouTuber, what a content creator should do. And I guess that this is not the way everyone views things, so there's nothing written in stone about this. I just prefer to play things that I'm only at least semi-competent in. And I don't feel very competent playing the Japanese side because I've actually only played the American side of the Coral Sea. Like I said, I'm baby steps right now. So I'm just going to try to take things easy. We'll go to the historical briefing, which is just one page. You can pause and read that if you want. So that's the idea, is we're going to keep things really simple. I think the Battle of Coral Sea scenario is probably the easiest one, least complex. XTRG can advise me. Well, it's good. I mean, we can do it this way even. We can play as the Allies, and then we can switch over and play as the Japanese, but probably not in this stream. Yeah, exactly. So Neuhauser says what I had thought. Actually, that's not accurate. They had broken some of the codes, but not the critical JN-25, which was later in the month. Yeah, that's what I had thought, that there was something remaining. So the Allied start, it's going to be a little bit funny because anytime I'm just going to press the up arrow. That's all I'm going to do, just single press of the up arrow. Okay, now I'm going to do it again. It's working weird, right? So I'm not really going up, I'm going up on diagonal. So going down kind of involves this zigzag of things. Anyway, so let's kind of take a look. I can't, there's no way to zoom out. We can use the strategic map to just get an idea of what the game map is. First of all, for those of you who have never experienced Gary Grigsby's, well, any of Gary Grigsby's title, their scope is usually enormous and their complexity very deep. This is War in the Pacific, and Admiral's Edition just refers to, it's like an expansion that patched some things, improved some things, and it was a standalone game. So basically everyone who plays War in the Pacific at this point only plays the Admiral's Edition version. You can think of it as like a gold edition, if you're, if that's the way you want to view it, if that helps you. Now, the hexes, I believe, are actually 40 nautical miles a piece. And okay, so obviously, because it's hexes, and this is a flat map, not a real world, there's probably going to be some distances which were not properly modeled. Like the distance from the tip of India to Australia may not be exactly what the number of hexes here is. It's a lot better done in this game because you can see that they have kind of the curvature of the Earth built into this very strange thing, a very strange like angle that they've taken. Specifically, I think just to, I'm sure that this is well researched. Gary Grigsby and his team has probably done what they want to have done. By the way, XTRG, since you're here, you need to install a map mod Mine Turtle. Yeah, exactly what I was about to say. It's funny because I didn't look at your comment before I started to address you. I was going to say that I don't have any of the artwork done. I took a couple hours even to get the game to run. It's actually very easy to get to run if I had someone who just told me what to do. I could now tell somebody else what to do. I could probably do a little video on how to set this up. But anyway, let's see. What was I saying? Oh yeah, just the scope of any Gary Grigsby's game, but in War in the Pacific in particular, I think this is probably the most number of hexes you'll see in any game ever. It's an overwhelming number. I don't know how many it is. Let's go ahead and find out. Oh, I can't find out, can I? Can I? Does it restrict me? It does. So just to give you an idea, what is it like? Is it like 200 by... Is it 200 by 200? I don't know. So we're at hex 106, 104... Okay, so this is the problem with the map. It kind of doesn't work the way you want it to. Okay, so if I do this, 104, 134, 105, and we're going 135. So it looks like it's going to be about 150 by 300. Something like 300 by 150, which is insane. So, anyway. Oh god, I'm trying to catch up on chat. They had a few others, which gave some coverage. Anyway, yes, good, thank you. I remember I made a special video for you on CV's. Yes. So I did something. XTRG has been helpful so far getting what already I needed to get to work. Now, what's the objective in this? The objective is that the Americans, we have our blocking submarine forces trying to scout for where the fleet is. And the intended target is Port Moresby, which we're going to attempt to defend. I'm not really going to do anything with the infantry in this. I don't know if you really need to. I basically am just going to let the engineers sit and do whatever they want to do. I hope that just by sitting here in combat mode, maybe I'm supposed to put them onto something in particular. But I'm just going to hope that they just sitting here will repair the airbase faster. I have some kind of useless airplanes here. We have the Catalinas, okay, not at all useless, which can do some searching, which they're going to do. And the WWIIs are kind of useless light bombers. I don't think that they're going to be very effective for us. We could do land bombing with them. I think that's going to be their most effective role. What I'd like for them to do is actually to do naval bombardment, since this scenario is really all about the naval action. But I don't think that they're very good at this role. So for now, I'm just going to have them stand down. Stand down? So they go to training, I guess. Oh, I guess I could put them on recon. What's their range? 6? Okay, they have a range of 6. We could probably get a little bit more recon in. We'll just put them on to recon. Why not? Okay, so that's Port Moresby's action. We're not really going to do anything with infantry. We're going to put both of them on naval search, basically. Oh, yeah, sorry. XRG said naval search. That's true. I put them on recon. So does that mean that recon does not also include naval search? Recon is for information over a single base. Thank you, XRG. So this is already extremely helpful. Okay, this is a learning stream. I should have put that in the title, but we're going to be learning a lot, I can tell. So we'll put them on naval search because I don't really have an effective role for them. Now, we're going to end up taking some pretty intense fire in Port Moresby from the Japanese Air Force. So for this, what I'd like to do is move up some fighters. I've never tried doing this, but knowing how things will go, we do have some P-40s here. I'm going to see if I can transfer them over to Cooktown first, I guess. And from Cooktown, I think that they'll have the range to reach Port Moresby, and we'll fly them in. Have your aircraft fly naval search at 6,000 feet is the precise orders from Commander XTRG. So they are at 6,000 feet. And the WWIIs are not. This way. Okay, good. So we've set that. I'm just guessing that 6,000 feet happens to be the optimal. So Cooktown is going to be good next turn. We'll have the Warhawks there, which we can move over to Port Moresby. I'm not going to mess with any of the infantry. And Townsville has some other stuff for us, though. Okay, so we have these. Now, the Port Moresby Air Base is not capable of supporting too much. Instead of just guessing about that, let's figure out what exactly it is capable of holding. Air capacity of 3. It can be upgraded. The parentheses there, I don't know if you're able to see, it's very small font, but the parentheses it says air capacity 3 and then in parentheses 6. Now that means that the airbase could be upgraded to a final size of 6, but its airbase currently is at 3. And I don't know what that means. It means something. The way I treat it is that you should only have 3 air groups in there. Oh, actually, yeah, so that's the way I think about it, is don't put 3 out, and then people are going to correct me on that. But for now, that's the way I viewed it. Don't overwhelm an airbase with too much stuff. Now, I don't know what we'll want to do with all the aircraft down here. We don't have access to too much stuff, so now I'm going to cycle through my naval assets. We have, first of all, the Lexington Task Force. We have the refuelment, the replenishment task force with her. We have the Lexington. This is Lexington. That means this is the Enterprise? Yorktown, sorry. Yorktown, and she's with her own replenishment group. And they have some orders they've already gotten right now. It looks like she is planning to move in a patrol route like this, which I'm not sure is what they historically did. Is that what they did? Anyway, we're not going to be doing those. That is not what's going to happen with these. Then we have a small cruiser force here, which I'm very happy. These guys can serve us very well. So XRG is telling me to click the base, then click the airfield button, bottom left. I will humor the man. I'm assuming he's talking about the... Wait, you're talking about clicking the hex here? I don't know why it doesn't show up. Okay, now airbase down here. What is he trying to say, though? This is my airbase, it's true. But I don't know what I'm going to be doing with this. So, aircraft stack level. Okay, maybe that's what he's referring to. Base administration, 2 of 4 groups. Got it. So, it looks like we're not limited to just 3 groups. We can fit 4 here. And a maximum of 150 planes, which is pretty... Well, we're not going to get up to 150, that's for sure. We'll probably reach the 4-group stack limit. So we could put another 4th group in here. And really, I think that the fighters is the most important thing, frankly. So we do have another group of fighters somewhere. I can start moving up. Or I could just get something which is capable of skip bombing. I plan to abuse every little loophole I can. So skip bombing, allied skip bombing, I plan to abuse it if possible. Okay, there they are. There's some other Warhawks. Let's get these guys to rebase. Townsville? Townsville would be good. I think that's as far away as they can go. It's going to take 2 days for them to get there. Otherwise, they can go to... They can actually go to Carnes in 2 days away. Can they go to Cooktown directly? No. Where is... Okay, so Bundaberg is, I'm assuming, south? Or they can go Rockhampton. I guess I'll just take the 2-day trip to Carnes. That's what we'll do. They'll start moving north. Carnes is not a bad place for them anyways. It's closer to the action. What else do we have in this airbase, though? We have some B-25Cs, which are nice. These, I think, would be very effective at skip bombing. I think that these were actually very good skip bombers. Probably, when I think of skip bombers, I probably am thinking of, or at least in my head, I'm thinking of B-25s and maybe B-26s. I don't know if Liberators were used, B-24s at all. But I would just imagine when they talk about skip bombing, the B-25 would be a good, nice, maneuverable, medium bomber that you would get some effective skip bombing action out of. So I think I'll move this guy north as well. Transfer him to Townsville. I think he can make it to Townsville. He might operate out of Townsville as well. It's kind of a nice area, closer to the action. So we'll get him over there. When you click on squadrons, click the bottom left. Bottom aircraft data. Yeah, I gotta sneeze, so 1 sec. Okay, there it is. There's the aircraft data. So you'll see their normal range, for which torpedo bombers would mean that's the range they can use their torpedo. Okay, good. This is very useful. Normal range for these guys is 11. Quite long range for the B-25s. Extended range, 14, and then maximum is probably the maximum range that they can fly, like to move in between bases, to change base. Like there, I just want to go fuel and fuel only. Or maybe I guess the maximum range could probably be used for recon as well. Or is extended range already the recon, and the maximum range is only one-way trips? Anyways, these were, yeah, like 450, no, that's actually, sorry, 6 50 cal machine guns. Should be able to defend themselves pretty well. Maximum range is, I don't know, just ignore that. Okay, fair enough. So we're going to move those guys up. We do have like one submarine group here, which currently has its destination set for what? I'd like to continue to click on you. I just want to... Can I see your destination? De Bruyne Isles 103, 135. Oh good, it stayed this time. Okay, that's actually perfect. That is not exactly where I want you to go, but that's where I more or less want you to end up going. Now, one thing that I think I will do is I will add for this one, I want to add a waypoint for her. So I don't want her to head up the coast, because if you're going to go, because of the funny nature of hexes, this is always an interesting thing. To get to this point, from this point, I can do this a number of ways. I can just zigzag up, due north. Or the two extremes is I could go left diagonal and then right diagonal, or I can go right diagonal and left diagonal. Now it takes the same amount of times to get up to get up to this hex doing any one of those three. So you kind of want to move them in a. You always want to keep them centered around the greatest location of reaction, or the best reaction point at all times. So what I want to do is use a waypoint here, and I'm just going to set one waypoint following it diagonally up this way, like this. And now we can see that her destination is still the same. Her time to get there, I'm sure, has not been changed. But while she moves up, she's not going to like over here she's isolated. She can't move further west, she can only move east, but she's further west than she really needs to be. So I like to do this kind of stuff just to keep them more in the route that I want them to take. So maybe we want them to deploy up here. Maybe, I mean, that might probably should have routed her through here, which would have been a little bit better just in case we need to end up sending her towards Port Moresby. But from here, yeah, she's actually well equipped to get to Port Moresby from this rallying point still. So that's actually not bad at all. Okay, so let's see. Randy Collins says, guys and girls, hit the like button, please. That's right. I haven't spammed my channel with self-promotion stuff. That's not really my cup of tea. Now, this cruiser task force, I think, is going to end up being very important for us. I want them to be the ones who actively engage the enemy transports. So we're going to do this. We're going to see what their path they take is. I think that that's okay, except I want to set them to route. I'm using a little bit of hindsight here, knowing that the Japanese carriers are somewhere over here. I want them to route a little bit more west, just so he avoids getting caught up too much. So even routing through like here, that's nice. That means that stay a little bit further out of harm's way. I guess if I wanted to be really particular about it, I would change this to be here instead. But I actually don't want her. It may be possible I want her to react east. Absurdites has arrived. Welcome. Newhauser said, when they did use skip bombing, it was used to great effect. The 5th Air Force did skip bombing, but this would be later in 43 or so. Yeah, that's right. So, anyway, I want to use skip bombing, which is usually forbidden in play-by-email campaigns because it's just way too effective this early on. There's no such thing as doctrine research or something like this. The U.S. didn't develop skip bombing for, I don't know, I think I saw it in the chat. 43 or so, I don't know. Anyway, so it wasn't employed this early, but there's no such restriction in the game. So you can employ it as early as you want, and knowing it's very effective, you would just employ it immediately. So what a lot of play-by-email games, I'm sure like XTRG and THGs, what they do is they just set a house rule that no skip bombing is allowed. However, I would like to know all those little quirks, and I would like to abuse them. Mainly because it's my first time playing, I want a massive victory, I want to pat myself on the back and say, hey, I did it, I abused all these things and got myself a victory. No, I'm just learning the game. So even learning what the quirks are about it is important. Then later setting up a rule saying, no, you can't do that is fine, but at least I'm knowledgeable about them. Not being knowledgeable about them at all is, I think, not a good thing. So what we've done so far is absolutely nothing. We've only set up 2 ships. Now, I don't know what these... I suppose that these are probably following. What's your role right now? You're not set to follow right now? How much fuel do you have, Lexington? Your endurance looks amazing. You can go 204 hexes. I can't remember exactly what this means. So mission movement is 9, cruise is 4, fuel is 204, or I think that's if you move at cruise. No. 204 is moving at cruise, which I'm currently doing. 24 is how much fuel I'll use getting to my destination, which is 5 hexes away, if I'm interpreting this correctly. And somebody will correct me. We have XTRG, an expert, and probably other people who know this as well. So given that we have 204 and we're using about this much, what I kind of want to do is put my replenishment tankers to stand off a little ways. I'd like them just to hover south a bit, preferably out of potential bombardment range, and then maybe bring them in only when I do need replenishment. I don't think we're going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the Japanese carrier group. So what we kind of want to do is skirt the issue. We want to basically just keep things at the periphery. We want to destroy their transports if at all possible. And then we want to retreat. There's no glory in... even a noble death is still a death, right? Would prefer to be alive. So I'm going to choose remain on station. That's fine. Let's set the destination for these guys specifically to be something like this. It's a little bit weird. We're going to separate these, as I said. And I'm also going to do the same thing for this tanker. Set her destination for the same. And the carriers. What do I want my carriers to do? Well, let's take a look at our actual carrier groups. We have the Lexington here. This is a conversion. Has a few less aircraft. We have to temporarily go for a moment. But we have 19 Wildcats on her. 16 in VS, the scout group. Out of 18, I guess. So there's 1 damaged. 2 damaged. What? Then we have the VB2, which is our bombing group. And then we have VT, which is our torpedo bombers, the Devastators. The Devastators weren't very effective, but that didn't really come to light as much until Midway. And I think Midway kind of gives them a bad rap because they went in early and they just basically cleared the way for the TIE bombers. Anyways, give me one moment here. I'm going to have to go check on something. Oh, look who's decided to join me. It's my daughter, who said that I'm not supposed to stream right now. I'm supposed to take care of her. Yeah. So anyways, just give me a half second more dealing with a developing situation. I'll be right back. Oh, this is going to turn into a play-by-email stream session if I... I'm beholden to other forces in my life. Anyways, for those of you who are still around, thank you for staying around. Sorry for the delay there. But we're back! So as I was starting to say, there's... this is the complement, the aircraft complement for the Lexington. We're expecting her to have slightly lower numbers than the Yorktown, because she was a conversion and she did just simply support less aircraft. The number of aircraft that she can support is available very obviously somewhere. Here it is, capacity in use. So we're at 67 out of 90, so she can actually hold a fair number more. But that's not how many she's holding, and it doesn't matter to us right now. This is the other armaments and other devices, I guess they call it, on the Lexington. Not too important for us. The things I wanted to look at are, what are we doing with our Wildcats? Currently their patrol levels are left at cap of 30. And they don't have anything else that they're going to do. I don't know if XRG is still here, which he is. I'm kind of curious. What's your recommendations as far as patrol levels? So this is my... Well, let me... while he give him a chance to respond, let me just tell you what I plan to do. I kind of want to rest them on the first turn, because I don't think we'll find anything in the first turn. And then on the second turn, I want to turn up their cap pretty high. That's kind of the idea I had. Welcome, McCrevane. He asks if I saw the drawing of the fire Draco. I'm not sure. I haven't had time to catch up with those, and I haven't put them actually into the videos yet. So that nice little background noise, we can minimize that. So that's the Lexington. So what do I want to do with these? I probably want to move them west, knowing that the transports are going to be there. We're into this big dancing game with the enemy carriers. And I want to see your movement path. Can I do that and also not? Is there a way I can see your movement path and not? There we go. Okay. So you're going to end up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess cruise was 4, right? So we're not able to get 4. I guess every third hex or every third day or so we should get some extra hex. I don't know if it tells you when you're going to get it or not. Well, I'm off to pretend to be a farmer. Don't listen to too much XRG. He's a bad player. This is campaign with TG pretty quickly. That's interesting. So I'd expect that. Okay, so XRG says 50% cap. I don't want cap height this turn though. So I probably won't. Green circle is first phase. Yellow is the second phase. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this must be the turn where we get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6? That doesn't make sense. Really? 4, 9 and 4, but we're going to end up getting much more than that. This is all news to me, though, so we're learning a lot. I don't need to move them that far. I basically just want to move them kind of around the south of Coral Sea to set us up for any kind of operations against the transports moving through this area. So I'm going to change their destination to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's put them here. And let's route them manually. Like so. That means, what's their ultimate movement pattern? Ay, ay, ay. Really wish it'd be easier to see. Okay, so they're doing 1, 2. So they're moving through the L and S in Coral Sea and ending 1 hex above it, diagonal right of this shallow zone. And they are not going quite the same way. So they're going through the Coral Sea, which is good. I think that we'll pull back this destination instead, so that we'll move them to the right of the shallow instead of moving up of it, just to keep our carriers protecting each other even more. That's what I think we're going to do. So we'll set this destination to here instead. And that's going to help them close. I believe that that's good. Yeah, so 1 right here and 1 right there. Actually, I might want to move this one, even just 1 over to the right. I want them right next to each other. I want them to support each other as much as possible. So we'll set them even destination here. And that is going to mean that they basically move together. Okay, good. So I usually do 50% at 15,000 feet with bombers going in at 13,000. Seems to work well. So Jotzi, that's fantastic news. I don't know anything about that. You may wish to consolidate your CVs into 1 task force. I guess the Americans get a big task force penalty if they put 2 CVs in it until a great deal later. 43 probably. And this guy's going to just be booking it to his destination. At mission speed, now this is another thing I don't understand. This is mission speed of 9 and cruise speed of 4. I basically want them to move at cruise speed. So I really don't want them moving at mission speed. So full speed is 9. Mission speed, I guess mission speed combines cruise and full speed in an intelligent manner. They don't use cruise speed, they don't use flank speed or full speed unless they absolutely have to. So I'm going to leave them on mission speed, but I want them to be using cruise speed right now. I don't want them causing any problems. XUG says 2 CVs are fine. I don't know how much that's... I've actually heard this several times, though, that the Americans take penalties for having any more than 1 CV in a task force, especially... I mean, these did operate in different task force at Coral Sea. So what are we going to do with these other submarines? It's a good question. I kind of want to move... I think we will, in fact, move these guys south to where I believe the action will be. I don't know why that happened. No, I didn't click there at all. I think part of the clunkiness of this user interface is just the bounding box that we're using for this scenario. I haven't had the same problems as much when I did the Grand campaign, and there was no limit on the box. So that should have worked. It did. Full speed is basically the ship's push to their limit, expending much more fuel, move at mission speed. Yeah, so I don't ever plan to move at full speed unless I absolutely want them to go flank speed full out. It's bad, I think. But as far as mission speed versus cruise speed, I kind of actually want them to just move at cruise speed. So, I tried to install that mod from your Discord actually, but it didn't work for some reason. Yeah, I don't know which one you're talking about, the art one, or maybe there's one for managing the Japanese economy. That was pretty obtuse for me. So what I want to do is move this submarine group, maybe down to here. Kind of rotating people around where I am guessing we can get some effectiveness out of them. That's fine to me. You are going to move... I don't know if I should keep somebody here or not. I think I'm not going to. We'll be overtaken by the carrier group anyway, and we have one group way up here. Let's get this task force to move down as fast as possible. And that's actually a good path. That's exactly what I would try to make them route and do anyway, so it looks fine there. I'm keeping one eye on the chat, because we do have the experts there, able to advise me. New game, Tortuga. Yeah, this is War in the Pacific. I've always wanted to play this. It just is overwhelming, very overwhelming to get into. So what have I done so far? I set both of my replenishment tankers down to hold off over here. In fact, now that I know I'm going to move west, they probably should move west as well. Although, that's not as important as maybe I'm making it out to be, since... Move over here. Since, the further west we go, we run into land, so at some point we don't need to move them that far west. I'm going to move this one here, but I'm actually going to route her... Yeah, so she did the thing I didn't want her to do, which is... So I want her to move, southwest first before she moves west at any point in time, because otherwise she might be in harm's way. Make sure your subs have their react up. Oh, very good point. That's a fantastic suggestion. So I'll set the max... I'll set this to max react for all of them. That's a very good point. I want them to engage and challenge anything that they find. So this is really important to me. Although I don't think this one's ever going to get into the fight, but we'll bring them in just for good fun. I don't know if I want to set my reacts for my carrier groups or not. These guys will be right next to each other by the end of this session, supposedly. And then we have this guy who's just charging his way, and I actually do want to set his react as well. Max react is already set at 6, so that's pretty good. We have this guy who I think is actually going to be fine here. We'll set his max react to 1 as well. But other than that, he's already in position where I want him. So are we not able to move? I can't really tell. Are we not able to move directly north with this one? Why is he going around? Because he's wasting 1 hex. Let's just verify this for my own sake. Actually, there is a way to do it. I can turn on preferences. Look at hex side details on. So it doesn't help much, but it looks like it's not obstructed. Yeah, why is he not going through there? Let's turn off this mess. There might be a hotkey for that, but I don't know it. Let's go back to him. And tell me, sir, why are you not... Let's just send you on direct. Ah, he's doing it. Well, that's weird. And XTRG, I just caught it out of the corner of my eye, says, I could have read it first, but I'm even more satisfied when I look and somebody verifies what I've just done. Carriers don't need React, he says. Good. One shouldn't do, just back up the game. What? Never mind. That's related to something else. When you click set TF routing, you can change how they move. Set direct. Yeah. Okay. That's what I just did. And F6 is the hotkey for perfect. That's nice. Okay. So that's just so I know where we can move or not. So we were going to lose a hex out of this one. And honestly, that could make the difference. Probably it doesn't, but it could. It could. Okay, so I think we've set up everything we want to do. We basically have nothing going on. We want recon. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't really get to with these guys is I want to set them to recon. So let's see if we can get especially the Yorktown's group. She's going to be closer to harm's way. So I do want her scouting group scouting vigorously. Search of 20. Now this is where I'll rely on XTRG or anybody who's an expert in the channel. We've already Joutsi, and it seems like plenty of people are familiar with this game. We could actually do an arc itself. I have not done this yet. Search is only of 20. Maybe that should be higher, or is that going to exhaust them? I don't know. Naval. Oh, this is my scout? No, this is my scout. Well, look, if you're not doing naval attack, you shouldn't be doing airfield attack. I'd rather you rest or do recon. If you're doing naval attack in an area and you find other targets, just rest instead. We'll probably set the same thing for our bombers. Rest or recon. I guess for the scout group it should be recon. Oops. Yeah, but this is commander discretion set target. No, we don't even want to target. We want naval attack only. Only do naval attack. Yeah, so XUG has come on and said naval attack and rest. That's good. So that verifies what I was thinking there. As far as these guys go, escort is fine. They won't have anything to escort. Cap is set at 30. That's fine for this first turn. In fact, I'd really like them to really rest, because I don't think we'll have action on the first turn. When making changes, you can set the changes to all aircraft of the same type. It's probably something I can set somewhere, huh? By clicking the buttons in the center. Yes. Set all in... Okay, I see. So we'll probably just do all fighters in this task force. Wait. We'd like to do it not just all fighters in the task force, just everyone everywhere. I don't know, is that possible? So 2 out of 100 for fatigue. That means that their fatigue is not very low, so they're okay on that. So we'll probably can bump this up to 40. And since the Yorktown's closer, we will prefer that. Although, I guess lowering that also lowers their escort chance, right? Or the numbers that I send to escort. Although cap is going to be more important. Alright, well, let's leave it as it is. We have somewhat of a turn assembled here, right? We have something going on. We did something. Let's see what the results are by ending the turn. So one other thing, though, XTRG, or a question for anybody in the chat knows. How do I view which hexes are going to have what weather? The weather overlay. Wasn't really able to figure this out. This is the best I could find. Set your fighter's altitude at 10K. Okay, F7, he says. Ah, there it is. See, it was invisible. It was invisible. It's claimed to be on, but it wasn't. Now it actually is on. That's fantastic. Oh, that's really good. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you. And I can see why you want it off, so you can see the task force underneath. But all right, so we're gonna go set our altitude for our fighters, since this was now mentioned to me. So we're gonna want something higher. 15,000 okay? What do the Wildcats want to use? $15,000 sounds good to me. 20K is good, says the expert. So, to the expert, we will listen. Aircraft data. Where are we going to find out what information? Okay. I see. So you set them to basically their max altitude maneuver. The maximum range where they have the maximum altitude, they have the highest maneuver. Got it. That's really useful. Thank you. That's very helpful. Okay, good. So it makes a lot of sense. We can go ahead and set the other ones to 20,000 as well. Now, I haven't set my bombers to any particular height. So there's no button here to do it to every Wildcat everywhere, which would be even nice, even more nice. So, okay, so that's that. And now, dive bombers to 10K. I think that they're set to 10K by default then, so we should be okay. Anyways, I'm interested in doing something before this stream comes to an end, so we're actually going to just end the orders phase here, because it's almost been an hour. And let's get into the action. Now, this is where it's going to happen. This is the good stuff. Here we go. We're moving in. We don't know what's going to happen, but we gave our orders, and let's see what happens. So we have some bad weather, canceling some patrols. Looks like the cruiser group canceled their float planes. Okay, we have this raid. Now, we don't have bombers or fighters there yet, so this is completely uncontested, unfortunately. So it was very ineffective. Why was it so ineffective? They didn't really do anything. Okay, I'm not really sure why that happened. A little surprising to me. Northfield says he sees nothing. I hope that that's been fixed. Yeah, I didn't see any aircraft damage or anything, though. So. Maybe nothing happens for us on this first turn. We can see our subs moved. Looks like they occupy the same hex. Nope, they're next to each other, actually. Still apart. Might have moved them too early. Yeah, so we actually are back to ourselves already. By the way, what we didn't I did not actually see what kind of. Okay, we have no ships in base at Noumea, despite the fact that it says there are, but they're not really doing anything. There's nothing there. We do have, it looks like one flight of Catalinas over there, which is fine. Oh, Uvox, hello. So these guys have moved north a bit, but they're not in range yet. And our carrier groups have ended up... See, this is not true. This is the... Do you do a night planning and a day planning different? Because they only move this far. So what's the deal here? We were looking at these lines, and the green is the one phase, and the yellow is the next phase, or something like that. But I thought that both night and day was simulated together. I thought that it's a one-turn simulation. So I'm not really sure what happened here. I'm going to let XTRG explain why they didn't move all the way over here, if that's the green arrow that I saw. I thought the green was actually if they moved at full speed. But, by the way, let's get this If I can find the button again, F7 should show the weather. Okay, there we go. So bad weather here. Actually, we're yeah, hilarious how the bad weather covers exactly our only our vessels. So that's fine though. I mean, it's gonna make things interesting. This submarine is arriving on station. Perfect. So that seems to me like a good place to go. Just to see if we have any activity there. I probably even should move one of these two back. I probably shouldn't have moved both of them out, really. So let's put him right here with a reaction of 1. Maybe he'll find something. Maybe we'll get lucky. You are still going to move forward. I'm fine with that. And now we have, let's turn off the weather for now. We do have some aircraft here. So let's move these guys over to Port Moresby. Good. And next up, we want to move even more fighters in there if we can. I thought we moved them to Cairns, but that's right. It's going to take 2 days for them to get there. Check your signal intelligence. I don't know the hotkey for that. L. Alright, so far we see... Wait. What? 6th Regiment infantry is loaded on a Kasu cargo class moving to Port Moresby. Where's that happening? Oh, this is, haha, the Japanese. Yeah, okay, they're moving towards me. Well, that's exactly the whole point of this scenario, so it's not too surprising. Attack on Port Moresby, infantry regiment, attack to that truck. Yeah, I'm fine with all this. Raboul 106, 125 might be a little bit more interesting. Oh, but it makes sense. Raboul's a big base. Okay, Seabass, wow. Again, stopping by before work, just posted my first roleplay on the German playthrough, so excited for the next episode. Yeah, I forgot which name you chose, Seabass. What was the name? I don't know which ship was yours. It's been very hectic trying to keep up with all the role-playing, actually, for me. Anyway, happy Father's Day, he says. Tortuga and chat. Thank you. I am a father. It actually happened that my progeny was appearing on camera a little bit earlier. Actually, not actually on camera, but at least on the voice, on the mic. These says, in before Tortuga loses Papua New Guinea. It could happen. Oh yeah, slick skiff. Battleship, basically. So the magic system, XRG says that this represents the Americans' ability to crack, that we've cracked the code. So we have some, not any information about the carriers though. 106, 150? What the hell? Oh, 106, 150 would mean... Okay, this is actually good news, or not good news, but important news. That means there's probably a submarine here, which means that we're going to move differently. We're going to move around this thing. Okay, 1, 2... How about 1, 2... 1, 2, 3, 4? So we want... Okay, so I want to move here, and then I want to move... I'll probably get this guy to move up and then full left. He's kind of hidden behind the carrier screen, so I feel okay with that. This one is a little bit more in harm way, so I'm going to get him to move something like this. And we'll route them correctly. I'm not really sure. I wish it would really just show me what the movement I had just done, but there it is. That's perfect. That's going to keep them out of the harm's way if the submarine's there. You, instead of moving exactly towards where that submarine is, will reroute you as well. And I think I'm just going to move you... that submarine's actually pretty far south, 105, so we probably could move just directly west. Yeah, we'll just move him directly west. 99 Duke says, glad to see more of this cool game. Oh, that's right. So, Seabass, if you've seen the most recent episode, yeah, you're in there. I mean, we're all in there. Everything but the newest. Unfortunately, the Stormbringers didn't make it into that newest battle, but that's going to be a good one. I don't know how it goes, by the way. Where I ended that episode is exactly as much information as I know. Somebody's asking if I'm playing the US or the Japanese. I'm playing as the US. Alright, so we kind of have our orders here. This is still movement up. I kind of want to set the routing, again, a little bit different. Set here, and then I want to set the routing to be a little bit further to the west, just to avoid any potential unfortunate circumstances. Something like this. And now if you could actually show me what that meant... that would be wonderful. Okay. Yeah, I think it would be better if you did something like this and then that, but that's okay. This is fine. I'm okay with it. So maybe even the scenario is scripted to have bad weather over the Americans, because this historically did happen. JP Lightfoot says, Happy Father's Day, Tortuga, from one father to another. Hey, I didn't know you were a father. Congratulations. Even if it's like a 16-year-old, and the congratulations is 16 years overdue. So that's that. I don't want to spend forever on every turn. Let's get to the meat of the action, right? Alright, this guy's moving. Maybe we should even send this guy moving a little bit faster. So 1, 2, 3 hexes? Is that 1, 2, 3? Is that all you're going to be able to do? Yeah, you know what? It's okay. She's moving slowly. You're going to move there next turn. That's good. You're going to move back there. I'm actually happy with that. I think that's a good one. You're moving up. Bad weather over your carriers is your best friend. Yes. It helps out your carriers from enemy attacks. That's good. And this one's moving in. Again, this is probably one which we would benefit from telling to move a little bit faster. How much is it going to... It will double their speed. Can I move them sprint speed for 1 turn? It would really help. I don't know. People in chat, let me know if you think I can get away with at least 1 turn on sprint speed to get this guy home. To the, theater of interest, really. I would like to do it if possible. So we're still moving where I want to move. Moving. I like all those movements. I think we're in good shape there. And you're going to avoid the submarine. So yeah, I think everything's fine. The next thing I want to do is check out the aircraft situation. I think that there's nothing going on here quite yet. Actually, I don't know why it's showing me. It's a little bit weird. Let's go to Townsville. There we go. And now select. So if for example, the A-20As are going to be useless here. I might move them to Cooktown as well, just so they're a little bit closer. These might also be candidates for skip bombing. By the way, for skip bombing, do you just set them to an altitude of 100? That's what I presume is what you would do. So anyways, let's get them up to Cooktown. Good. Alright, gotta go. Be careful with your cap. I recently lost the Yorktown in the full campaign because my cap was too light. Ah, very good. Yeah, I guess at this point we are getting a little bit more nervous about the cap. Let's take a look at how the fatigue is on these. Fatigue of 4, and these guys were the ones... this is the Lexington, so they got 2 fatigue. Set cap of 40 for them as well. I didn't change the cap last time, and I got very lucky in the last time I played this scenario, so I didn't have any any issues whatsoever. Let's see how much the 30 to 40 change on their cap affected the... Yeah, the fatigue is up to 7 here. But I guess it's important for them to be doing that cap. I'd like for them specifically to rest, but you know what? Things are going to be happening very quick, so let's just let it play out. Wood says, damn, I didn't even know this game existed. I played the Ordinal games from the 1990s, and that was one of my fave games ever. Glad to see there's an update. Yeah, this is pretty crazy. So I think that's all we want to do. We can end the next turn, and hopefully we can see some action. Let's find out what happens. Russell Island is occupied by the... Russell, where's Russell? Should be watching the other stuff as well. Got something. We have something. So we moved our submarine here, unfortunately not to exactly the right spot. This must be the transport that I should have been... Oh! Holy cow! We have gotten very lucky. Holy cow, sorry for your ears, I'm sorry to everyone, but holy cow, what an amazing feat. I think this is Australian submarines, the SSS-42, has just hit the Shoho with a torpedo. Thankfully we have turned off US and the Mark 14 duds, and definitely got a hit. I'd love to see what the results for that is. One hit, so it's not a lot, but this is also a light carrier. And S-42 successfully escaped. Now, one torpedo, not necessarily enough to end her entirely, but I don't know. Actually, it'd be interesting to know, for those of you who know, XTRG, basically, question to you. How much does carrier damage affect flight capabilities? Like in Rule the Waves 2, there's just this cutoff point where at some level you can't do any flights, but until then, you can fly everything. It doesn't really do anything. So she'll be functional, but her speed will be reduced, is the comment. That's not too bad. It's not a flame, because doesn't say that she's on fire. However, we don't know what'll happen. First of all, this is amazing. Beautiful. Very lucky, I would say. I'm so happy. And they're very close, by the way. That means, my cruiser force is actually way too close. What? What's going on? That's the main carrier force. That's the main one. Should be 2 carriers in that. Okay, we have some scouting. They've scouted us. Oh wow. Okay, so it's all happening. It's all coming to a close now. I mean, things are heating up very quickly. This is their raid. My Warhawks! Oh god, they're going to be eaten up alive. I did not expect them to immediately be in the fight. I didn't know that they would fly cap without doing... Yeah, anyways, this is not good for 2 Warhawks to be doing this all by themselves. So I don't expect that we'll be doing very good here. Oh wait, what the hell? We have 8 suddenly up in the air? I didn't set their altitude, I didn't do anything. Now, P-40s are reasonable, I mean, as good as you can hope for against Zeros this early in the game. Probably are, let's see, P-40s, would they be the best airplane at this time to defend against Zeros? I think so. Can't imagine anything. I don't know anything which was better than the P-40E in the early 1940s, in 1942. We're still obviously not doing very well. I didn't set their altitude or anything, so. But the fact that we have enough... Oh, we actually destroyed one, so this might be possible. Yeah, they can give... XRG says they can give the Zeros a run for their money. Yep. I actually don't know if they give them a run for... Yeah, they can give them a run for money is probably a good way of putting it. They are not going to be... winning, but it's more of a coin flip than the Wildcats, I would say. I wonder if they ever model like the Thatch Weave, or is that just built into Air Experience? It's been pretty even so far. I'm gonna see if I can speed this up. I don't remember how to speed it up. If I hit escape, it skips it altogether. We actually were able to destroy a few of the bombers. So this was actually extremely effective. It's going to prevent damage to the airfield. We may have, quote-unquote, mission killed them. Prevented them from really doing work. Yeah, so if I press escape, it's going to cancel this altogether. But is there a way to speed up the rate the text flows? That's what I would be most interested in. I remember it being like Control F, but I don't know how to undo it. Control F. Message delay. That's the wrong message. Control V? No. Just keep playing around with things. Control D. Also not correct. Okay, now they're over target. The remainders. They are hitting the runway. Oh god. Well, it doesn't look like we have done enough to disrupt them, unfortunately. Gotta wait for December 22 for operational use. Commissioned, Okay, so now we're attacking them on the way out. I'm gonna hit escape on this one. We'll see what happened. So we destroyed 1-0, we destroyed 3 Nels, we damaged 2 more. Unfortunately, we lost 2 of our own Warhawks with 1 damaged. The airbase was hit, had 5 hits, supply was hit once, and runway hits 15. That sounds very bad to me. Actually, that sounds pretty devastating. I don't know what that means exactly, but it does not sound good. Really does not sound good. So we'll close that one. I just wish this submarine would do something. Carrier's moving right by you. Okay. I'm trying to prep out in my head what I think I'm going to do in the next turn. We're going to move closer. They're going to move closer, so we have to be a bit careful about this. But okay, so let's move you around. Continue to move you around. Like this, I guess. You actually moved correctly. That's what I wanted you to do. That's always nice. Your goal was to move here, but now your goal is to get into the thick of it. I think we're going to go a little crazy with this cruiser group. We may end up losing them, but it's a calculated risk. Yeah. I know it's so minor. But if you wouldn't mind just moving west before you move up diagonally, I prefer that. No, actually no, I have to say I take that back. I don't think we're going to be able to get to this fleet. Okay, I'm going to do it. We're going to go here. We're just going to move in. No, that's not what I didn't set that as a destination at all. Okay, that's what I wanted. You guys are responsible for tracking this. So I guess I'll just move you here and hope that you react accordingly. Okay, one at a time here. So you... Oh my god! This is the one from flank speed. Holy cow, it did actually made it. You can go back to mission speed now. And you are going to be the next one who moves flank speed, probably. Let's get you at... Well, your speed is a little more suspect. So I might need you to move... Okay, so now let's get at least one of these guys. Whoever... Wow. I don't know who the hero was who actually landed that hit, but that's amazing. Let's get one person... I know shallows is not great for submarines, but it is a choke point, so I want to continue to utilize that. And we'll keep one here, which is hopefully going to intercept that. Let's just make sure that all these guys have their react set. 6. Oh, and I want to, before I forget, sorry, this is a little spontaneous, but I just want to make sure that we set these guys up for their correct. So 15K is the best that they can do. We'll set them up to 15K then. And unfortunately their fatigue is 20. Yeah, but I think we can get the other group in now. Set these guys to 15 as well. And we'll transfer them to Port Moresby as well. What? They can't make it from here? Oh, brother. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. Wait, you can't even go to Cooktown? What the heck? Am I crazy? What's going on with these guys? Transfer. Yeah, what the heck? I don't know what's going on. I don't know why that's happening. Wait, they're here? They're here. Oh, okay. So now let's set these guys to 15K. Maybe I have more P-40s in the area than I thought I did. Okay, XTRG says give them drop tanks by clicking this. Use drop tanks. That's... Let me see if they need that. So these guys might be able to transfer. They're at 15. That's fine. So let's transfer to Port Moresby if we can. Yeah, we cannot. Try using drop tanks. Transfer. Cannot do anything. Well, I'll give them drop tanks because, hey, I mean, it's still beneficial. What? Cannot transfer? What are you doing? No. No, bad. Okay, there we go. Now, these guys are the ones in Karn, right? Where do I see where their hex is? Yeah, based in Karns. Okay, this one does show. Let's do this as well. Transfer base. They cannot go to Cooktown. I don't know why. So it's okay. For now, we'll just leave them here for a turn to rest, essentially. Their fatigue is 1, so that's good. Maybe it takes them like an extra turn to strategically be able to deploy again. I'm okay if that's the case. We are moving these guys, shifting them up. We have who in Townsville? Just the B-25s, so that's fine with me. Who actually have the range to start doing some naval bombardment. And you know what? Let's start doing it. So as I said, I don't know what the altitude for skip bombing is. I'm guessing it's 100. Let's go to naval attack and rest if you don't do that. Good. Rockhampton actually is not a bad place. I kind of want to keep some people here. The A-20s might not be as effective here, so if I can, I'll move those up to Karns or Townville. Karn or Townville. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, that was hopefully a much quicker, delay or interruption. So, I haven't seen this yet. Squadron is damaged, representing that the aircraft were crafted and put on rail cars. I see, they have to be reassembled before you can use them again. Oh my goodness! Thank you, Corvar. How the hell do I do that? So I probably shouldn't have strategically deployed them. I don't know how... What did I do? So transfer to base, I probably... Oh, you can... Huh. So if you move them too far, they have to be reassembled, huh? That's interesting. So they're damaged? Let me look at the damage. 18? Yeah, 18 of them are damaged. Okay, got it. So I guess that this will just repair itself. And Iron Duke says use torpedoes on anything that can carry them. Do the Mitchells carry torpedoes? They actually seem like they would be capable. I don't know though. Let's take a look at aircraft data. Doesn't look like they have torpedoes as a possibility. Okay, so this is where each individual plane is, XRG is saying, so I can go over to the P-40 is over here, and we can actually look at all the individual planes, and it's going to say that they're all repairing. Okay, that's estimated delay is 2 more turns. Well, the war is going to be over in, I mean, this campaign will be over in 2 more days, but that's fine. Take your time, do whatever you want. Now, the P-40Es, I don't really care about the P-40s. They're not going to be useful for me, but these, are these available? These are. Now, they don't have the range to do anything. Damn it. Except for they can be moved to Port Moresby. Alright, well, why not, right? Might as well get something there. Let's get some use out of the base. An A-20C can carry a torpedo? Even better. So now they should actually be there already. Yeah, they show up immediately. Your mission is going to be naval attack. How do I set what their load is? So we know that torpedo bombers should be at 8,000. Is that what he said? I want to use torpedo bombing. How do I get them to equip torpedoes? Will they do it automatically? Ah, the A, not a C. Okay, got it. So let's just set them to skip bomb then. 100? Nobody has ever confirmed that 100 is what you need, but if I look at this, the lowest is 1,000, unless you hit this. Then they'll go down to 100. I guess 100 feet you definitely could skip bomb. You probably would blow up your own plane. It probably should be a little bit higher, somewhere around, I'm guessing, 500 feet, but there's no option for 500 feet, so maybe 100. But the 100 feet, you would actually surely concuss your own airplane if it detonated the moment it hit the water. $10K is horizontal bombing. Below, XTRG says, ... we're waiting for his answer. Is skip bombing, perhaps? Which B-25 model do we have? The B-25C. Would probably work for skip bombing. Obviously, lower would be good. Okay, so you're saying that I can set this to 1,000 and it'll work. Because I feel a little bit uncomfortable setting it for 100. For reasons I just mentioned. That I think they would kill themselves. So we'll do that. We should probably go back to the WWII and get them to... Well, these guys are not dive bombers. They're light level bombers. Yeah, so we'll set these guys down to 1,000 as well. They're on naval search right now. Let's set them to naval attack. We already have some Catalinas doing naval search. So now it's the time. Let's move in. Oh, Kovar says 100 feet is strafing and skip bombing. Amazing! I'm so glad you're here, Kovar. I would just like to... I need to send you a personal message every time I start a stream because it's really useful to have such information. So let's go back to these guys and set them to 100 as we had at one point. Any kind of damage we can get done would be good. You guys are set to not escort. I'm going to turn off escort. I want them just to sweep. Is sweep cap? I basically just want to patrol Port Moresby. I don't care about anything but defending the base. So let's put cap to 60, 70 even. Basically just do cap. I don't know how to do that. Maybe I should be choosing them to stand down and then do cap. You will take heavier casualties at low altitude from Japanese cap unless you escort them. Which is exactly... This is what I read after I'm already turning off all their cap. But hey, we're learning here, right? Okay. Click target. Port Moresby. Okay, good. Got it. We've done it. That's all I want them to do. I know that they will take casualties, but the rest of the airplanes are on their own. We just change it to escort. Oh, is escort... I want them to do a sweep of Port Moresby. If cap is a squadron's primary mission, set their range to 0. Otherwise, they'll suffer much more fatigue. Ah, great. That's wonderful. I'm learning Corvar. By the way, I don't know if you know about my Discord, but please join my Discord. I would love to bother you about things. As soon as I have the time and the wherewithal and I'm not streaming, I'd love to ask more questions or ping you on this. Sweep is for other bases. Escort. Okay, got it. So we'll do escort. We'll set the target to be Port Moresby. And we'll just set the cap to 60. I still want them to do a lot of cap. It's mainly what I want. So we don't have as many left, but the fatigue is relatively low. So the ones that we do will fly. Now, let's make sure that we have the other ones set. I know I've already done this. So patrol, what are you guys doing? Are you, first of all, even capable of flying? Yes, you really are. Surprisingly, somehow. So, naval attack and rest. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. You're doing skip bombing. Perfect. The warways are probably going to be doing the same thing. We'll set them to 100. Naval attack, rest. We could do a search, but I guess they are going to do a 20... Well, that's fine. I'm okay with doing a small amount of search. But mostly I want you to be doing skip bombing. Yeah, because we already have this group, which is doing the search, which is our Catalinas, which makes more sense to me. Hey, we might get lucky, right? Okay, then these guys are repairing as well, I believe. Yeah, so both of our P-40 moves were somewhat ill-advised. I probably should... I'm learning, right? So now we know not to do it if it's more than... If it says the -1 day, -2 days. We should only do it with bases in range. And the B-25 here... Not in range yet, but we might actually want to transfer them over to Cairns then. Townsville has more supply. Brisbane, no, that's further south. It's going the wrong direction. Oh, they can actually go to Noumea. I mean, it's wonderful that these guys have such great range, but I think Townsville's the one for us. Does Townsville, before I move them, have the wherewithal? Townsville... Aircraft. So 1 of 7 groups. Yes, yes, and yes, they can support them. Please ship your B-25s up to us. And I will be done. So next turn, well, they'll be, I think, in range to support this whole operation here. And this is exciting. So you guys are moving. I think we're done with this turn now. Okay, so we're going in. This is a learning stream, right? We're gonna go in and get our teeth, I was gonna say get our teeth bloody, but I mean, I don't know if that's the right expression. We may win, we may lose, but at least we're gonna have some fun doing it. I think that I actually want all my submarines moving down there. So yeah, even you are going to move. Actually, I know what I want to do. I want to set one right here. I want to block off any attempt for them to retreat back to Rabaul, which, unless they go to Madong or up along this way, I guess the Rabaul should be their main port. And your reaction is set to 1. Good. Okay. I'm so happy that we got that. Now, this is the important one. We didn't set these guys to move, and this is the challenging part. How close do we move? Yep, I've made my decision. Okay. Okay, well, we'll be close enough to do some missions. I don't know if I want them in both of the task force in the same hex. That's like one idea to do as well. But no, I think I'm actually okay with what I've done. And you're moving this way. Actually going to have you move a little bit more northwest. Just in case we need somebody to, help replenish. You're moving that way. Yeah, you're kind of not going to be as helpful. And that guy's just going for broke. Okay, well, let's see what happens. I guess that's all the orders we're going to do. Let's hit end turn and see what happens. No idea how this is going to go, but that's the exciting part, isn't it? Oh my god, we've intercepted their troop transports. Oh my god. Okay, this is going to be a big one. We have 3 ships against their gazillion, but luckily, I think these are actually, this is a mine sweeper or mine layer. Mine sweeper. And CML should be mine layer, if I'm not mistaken. She's taking hits right away. Turning fire, though. No hits. Torpedoes in the water. We are hitting. Now, this is a nighttime combat, so I don't know how effective our guns are. I mean, they actually have guns. We have to be a bit careful. As you can see, they're taking shots. But this is still exactly what we want. Cruiser mine layer says CM. Thank you. This is finished. So this is a mine layer, not a mine sweeper. That makes sense. Mine sweeper should be... Yeah, MS should be mine sweeper. Should have been obvious to me. It's right in front of my face. So this is going to be a very close, bloody action. Oh my gosh. It's at night, which is unfortunate for us in that we do not fight as well as the Japanese at night. But it's still an engagement which we want. The Whipple has been whipped good. Corvar, who I need to make sure I mention every comment of his, it's very helpful. Or you and watching this later perhaps can just watch, but he says, nice, this will be fun. Moonlight is okay, and as you hit them, it will illuminate them. That's good to know. So the Whipple is probably doomed then, since she's been illuminated. But even if we can only get out with the Hobart and the Australia, I will consider this a massive victory. XTRG says you will win this. Aaron Duke says it's good, you will win this action. Everyone seems confident in my success. Yeah, I mean, look at... I don't think that these guys contain enough to sink the Australia. And if the Sagaru, I should say, takes enough damage, she's the one I'm most concerned with for guns. I don't know what kind of guns these troop transports have, or they're transports, I guess. But they're troop transports, we know. If the Whipple can get out okay, that would be even better. I would love to not lose a single ship. Because we know what's going to happen, right? We know that right after this, here comes the Yorktown and the... So they did get somebody through here, damn it. Oh! Where are they going? I can't wait to see the air action turn. That's going to be very interesting, because... Yeah, anyway. I think we'll end up getting the show. If that is where the Shoho went, I'm surprised why. I would be very surprised why they would go there, but anyway. And it looks like our movement west was very helpful. Okay, so we disengaged already. We have 4 hits on the Sagaru. She's on fire. 3 hits on fire for the Fumimaru. 4 hits, she's on heavy fire. Kagumaru. And 2 shell hits, heavy fires on the Tatumiya Maru. And And that's it. So I would say that was not great. One hit on fire, not too bad for the destroyer. Hopefully this continues during the day. They're bombarding Port Moresby. Holy cow. Gonna quit out of this, just see what the final damage is. 2 coastal gunshots fired in defense. Holy cow, they damaged so much stuff. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that was devastating. Very effective with very light force. I don't know, actually colored me very surprised. That was very effective. So we'll see what ends up going up into the air. Okay, we do have a few, it looks like, of the detached forces. This should be a total victory for us. It looks like their detached forces will just die. And look at that, there's something right next to us as well. These three are just dead. I'm not worried about this one. I'm just curious what happens after this. It's nice to be able to purely sink these as well, because if they go down completely, my aircraft will not target them, which I'm still expecting is the next phase, that the aircraft come in. I want to hover around my Australian air bases, so I'm going to use my carriers as much to the west as I can to keep them close to other defenses, but yeah. Kovar says we'll finish off the stragglers here. But these are, I mean, this is obviously not the main force. By the way, in the last one, I don't know if anybody can rewind quickly and show me what was the number of casualties I inflicted. I didn't sink anything, so maybe I didn't do any casualties. Iron Duke says hopefully the Royal Australian Navy ships will push on and destroy that convoy. The one over here, I guess. Yeah, it would be really nice. We have this submarine where we want her, though. And we honestly, we want another submarine here now. That's where I guess this one will move to close that little gap. There's another spot that they can move through, but I'm just worried about the Japanese carriers now. Have we taken any hits, by the way? I have not been paying attention to this. And then this is easily, they're all going down, as we expected. So, really hope that they have enough time. Maybe it's early enough in the day that we can engage the next ones. They're obviously moving, and we do have a submarine over here, though. Oh, okay, maybe do some kind of, put up a picket over here. We're just devastating this port transport. And she sunk. There it is. Combat ends with the last Japanese ship sinking. So, 873 casualties reported. 7 squads destroyed, 24 disabled. 18 non-combat and 32... How are they disabled? How are they not just dead? Like, are they floating on the water disabled? This is very interesting. What does this mean? 7 destroyed, 24 disabled. What does that mean? Anyway, they were hit 15 times and sunk, 8 times sunk, 2 inside. Actually, he says they're dead. Okay, yeah. It's very confusing, this, why would you... I guess this is fog of war. Anyway, it just doesn't make sense to you why you would call them disabled. They're, you know, floating on the water. So that is AM. Is it possible? Oh, here we go. What do we got? Is this the Shoho? We're dropping some bombs on some ships. I think this is the Shoho. No, this might be the ones who were. Yeah, this was this was the coastal raid. Interesting. And severe damage done to the Yubari. Fantastic. So this will be a nice warm-up exercise for our naval forces, our naval strike group. Yeah, these news has just mentioned the same thing. Oh, this is really exciting. So it took this stream about an hour to get going, but then it really kicked into high gear. Yoy. I would like to just sink everything here, because these are technically a real threat to my armored cruiser. Moon Waves 2 coming in. This is a threat to my cruiser task force. It looks like we're going to get some good damage down here. They're not even going with torpedoes, they're going with bombs. It's an interesting choice, but... So, we have 1 damaged, almost no problems at all. We have 3 hits, heavy fires, heavy damage, 1 hits, heavy fires, and 2 hits, on fire, heavy damage. Perfect. This is a really good result. I'm very happy with this. I think that this is going to make our life a lot easier if our cruiser force encounters them on their retreat. In fact, it doesn't even look like they're going to get a chance, as now the Yorktown is lending her own weight to the affair. And actually, there's a strong argument to be made here if this... we actually attacked the wrong group. I didn't want to attack this group. I really wanted to attack the transport group. There's nothing that group can do to Port Moresby if it's going back to port, so it's a victory for us. Let's talk about this versus what happened in real life. In real life, the transport group was pulled back, but the Lexington was sunk. Sorry, the Yorktown was sunk. And the Shoho? What was the Japanese side of things? The Shoho was sunk, and another one was damaged. I can't remember exactly the... Sorry, yeah, Lexington was sunk, Yorktown damaged, sorry. Because, yeah, that's right, Yorktown had to set in for emergency repairs at Midway. This is a very famous thing. Anyway, the Shoho was sunk, and then there was another carrier damage, though, for the Japanese, though, I thought. Or no, was it just simply the massive loss of talented... So, when the Japanese committed their strike that ended up sinking Lexington, they, at some point, committed beyond the point of no return, and a lot of their pilots had to ditch. And a lot of them died. So, it was an effective thing to do. In the end, they wanted to push and sink the carriers. They sank one of them, but they lost a lot of their very well-trained pilots, which was always an issue for the Japanese. Yeah, exactly. So 1 carrier with no aircraft, that's what I guess I'm referring to. So it's essentially a mission kill. It's not effective. It would not be part of the action at Midway, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, what do we have here? The Yubari is sunk, Escort is sunk, and the Yuyoi, which had avoided earlier attacks, now takes 2 hits, heavy fires. I'm kind of presuming that with 2 hits, she's probably done. Wow, they're way over here. Okay, here's the follow-up. Just the Yuyoi. Okay, she's gonna be a dunner. Just gone now. I'm surprised that she doesn't just immediately sink. So the question now is, with the carrier group, with the transports moving up this way, we may end up pushing, excuse me, apologize for that. We may end up pushing our cruiser force further northeast to chase them down. At full speed. It's crazy. They'll probably encounter a lot of Japanese airplanes. We'll find out how crazy it is. Let's see what the results are. Okay. So this is the enemy carrier force. And look at this. Do you remember when I was tasking this one out and I said, well, let's move them a little bit more east instead of west so that they'll be in better position? How fortuitous that event. this submarine is now actually in the best position to, I don't know, keep tabs on this carrier force, which I'm going to predict. Where, actually, let me pause in a moment here. I'm going to move them this way. Actually, I should give a destination beyond, just in case they can move beyond. I'm going to do this. So this is now the submarine closest to with the ability to intercept. So that's good. And you are now going to move this way. And you are going to just basically pull up a little bit. Just hover just over here. And my carriers are also going to move up. Port Moresby, by the way, although it was attacked previously, actually had a good go of it last turn. How's the airfield looking? Ready, 8. So we have 8 ready, 6 Catalinas ready, 9 Warways. Okay, not bad. We have a lot of crap here. So yeah, this guy, you're going to move at... They want to go home. I don't blame you. I just really want to sink that group. By the way, nobody saw the show-ho. Okay, I want to detach this destroyer, I think. I'm going to send this guy home by itself. Where do I do that? I want to detach him and send him in. I don't know if it's possible or if it's useful. I don't know if XTRG, if you're still here. I have this task force, the cruiser group, with the destroyer having taken this one hit, making it slightly less effective. I want it to detach the destroyer and move on without it. That's my goal. So transfer, I guess? Form new task force, okay. This one is going to be, I guess, irrelevant. We'll call it surface, sure. And we'll just move this destroyer down. So is that going to accomplish what I want? So we're on. Yeah, I think this is correct. The stream might be lagging behind because I'm waiting for you guys to catch up, I think. Yeah, you guys are still... Alright, I'm just going to do it because I'm expecting that that's fine. Okay, so now this destroyer can go home. She's free to return to Brisbane. And she can do that at whatever speed she wants. And then the rest of you guys, lucky fellows that you are under orders to move at full speed to catch these guys. That's right. I don't care. Your job is to get there and to beat them to the punch. We have one submarine in the area to stop that. We'll keep one submarine here, so you are going to move as well. You're going to try to catch them, so you're going to move. Ooh, I don't know if we can move this guy. No, we cannot. Damn it. So set destination. We'll still try. If we can slow him down at all, maybe we can catch up. The like horrible thing about what I've done is, and I suppose I'm going to subject this cruiser group to a lot of aircraft going crazy and killing them, like at Rabaul. But this is the trade-off we're willing to take. Going to sleep in 15 minutes, Torty, says XRG. Well, you've been very helpful. It's been a lot of fun, actually. This is War in the Pacific at its best, I think. This scenario is really fun. So we're going to try. And we do have this one, which can kind of act as a side guard. Go down here. I don't know still where the Shoho has gone. Yeah, gosh. You got what I need. When you say he's just a friend. You're going to stay there. You're returning home. The big question for the cruisers. Well, I think that we move in. I guess that we've kind of committed at this point. Their carrier is pretty far away. We can move in some kind of manner, hopefully, to not expose us too much. We don't want to move too far north, though, because then if they move southwest, we'll actually be cut off. Or we have to... I mean, we'll simply be cut off. We'll keep moving airplanes north, but... Yeah. But anyways, I'm still going to try to support this action. I think by doing this... I'm going to do this, and I'm going to move the other one to the same spot. So I believe that they're destined for the same location. Let's verify this, which is hex, well, whatever. It's the one 3 southwest of the American flag. And 3 southwest of the American flag. Very good. You're still moving. Yeah, that's good. You're going for Baroque. Yep. You are a submarine. You're sitting there. That's fine. I want to move him southeast. And he cuts off both of those. I don't know where the Shoho went, though. She's just gone. Like a fart in the wind. That's good. That's probably effective. Okay, well, I think we're okay with everybody's decision here. Let's check the aircraft situation, because at this point I am a little bit worried about... we don't really have that many aircraft. Okay, I'm a little worried about these carriers moving southwest. What are we going to do against them when that happens? So we have the Havocs here. They can control this area. That's actually okay. I'm okay with them sitting there. We have the Townsville, who's here? 2 groups of Mitchells, the B-25Cs, the B-25Bs, fantastic. And we honestly should... No, they're too far away. I don't need to worry about setting them yet to do any kind of attacking. Are you guys available yet? No. One more day. Well, 5 of them are ready, but I don't think they're ready to move. And Townsville also had... No? What? Oh, Cooktown had some. And these are... repairing. Okay. Okay, very good. That's fine. I'm still okay with that. I think that this stays pretty much the same. We didn't see any of these acting last turn, but maybe that was because they were being bombarded. Who knows? All right, well, I think we just quickly end the turn here and continue to see what happens. Might be the last turn I can do on stream, because time for me to get going. So let's see what happens. I'm doing this for you, XRG. We're getting one more turn in before you go to sleep. All right, here we go. Got him! Got him! Got him! Got him! It worked. Why at night, though? I don't know why. Both task forces evade combat. What? 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 No! No, 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 no. Oh, gosh, why did they do that? I messed up their options. I must have messed up something. Damn it. Well, my only hope is that... I can't believe they did that. Can't believe that. Oh, my gosh. Oh, lordy, lordy, help me. Oh, heavens. Okay, so they're sending some Nels in. And they're going to do even more damage. We couldn't get any of our cap up somehow. Okay, at least we're going to be able to do some damage on the way back. Which mounts for nothing. So, yeah, they did a lot of damage, damn it. And it looks like our cruiser fleet decided to retreat after that as well. They are over here. It's interesting. Looks like they slipped by, unfortunately. Oh god. Wow, the hell did they do that? Do we have clones? Okay, well the cruiser force is getting what they deserve for not obeying orders. In fact, they ended up doing nothing. But yeah, this is a scary thing. I don't know what. How did we even get over there? Flank speed is a wonderful thing, I guess. They really made some ground up. And that's it. Very interesting. So these guys need to continue going flank speed. I will even keep them at full speed. I probably had retirement allowed on, and that is my fault. Actually, your routing is going to be direct. There we go. As fast as possible. In fact, I'll even set a little bit of a change here so that you don't go west at all. Not at first. Save your west-hand turn for later in the course. Let's see if that changes her action at all. Yeah, good. This is much better. This is what I want to see. Don't go west. Don't go east. Avoid those carriers as much as possible. And kind of the same thing with these guys. They're already moving southwest far enough. I think that they'll be fine. I'm not going to worry too much about them. I could give one order just east of Southampton, but okay, so 1, 2, 3. Let's do that. Good, that's a little bit better, just so we can stave off any attacks for as long as possible. They'll probably be gone. I think they'll be okay. And this was a very, very fortuitous choice for our submarine. So now we just start picketing, I think, in this direction. I think I want to move this guy back even, because I don't know how to react yet. I don't really know what their destination is. What are they trying to do? Let's move back like this. They could be going for New Caledonia. Boy, that's frustrating. Both of them got through. Well, this certainly won't be the victory that it could have been, in my opinion, but I will be a little bit bold here. I'll try to get you guys to move in, see if you can get any work done. And just because I'm doing that, I might as well just move these guys kind of to support right here. It's obviously a very good choke point to throw your forces in. We're controlling this choke, which is also good. I want to continue to just hover around this area, but I think in this case I'll be starting to move south. Back. So we'll go just 2 up right of... Oh, we could do this. We're not going to be able to catch these at this point, so that's fine. We'll just move I think over here. Actually, what I could do is get them to refuel, but... Okay, 1, 2 here, I think it was. And yeah, you are gonna move southwest probably. Just go start hovering closer to the coast. And you're going back. This is a tough question. I think I will... Port Moresby safe from amphibious in this direction at least. So I'm going to get this unit to move here. Just so we have a little bit better control of this little island chain. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, not what I wanted. That's what I wanted, okay. Yeah, good. Okay, well, very good. We'll probably end the turn one more time and see what happens. One thing I should do, frankly, is reduce the cap. I'm sure that they're getting very tired now. Fatigue of that. Let's set the cap down to like 30 and force them to rest at least 20. Really don't know how effective that'll be. That's for the Lexington. Gonna do the same thing on the Yorktown though. Okay. Relax a little bit more, guys. And kind of want to even move one of these to Rockhampton. Keep bouncing them all over the place, but just in case, I mean, I just want to spread the love all along the East Coast. And let's end the turn. Just doing kind of a little dance with them, seeing what they want to do. Keeping our carriers protected by some land-based aircraft. Not that it'll matter too much. Yeah, they're going to escape. That's fine. All right, well, we tried. Wow. I like torpedo bombers. We don't have any torpedo bombers. Oh, they call the A-28s torpedo bombers. I got it. Ah, Corvar says the range 7. Okay, that's good to know. I'll change that. Just escape this. No Japanese losses. Didn't really do anything. Thank you, Corvar. Set carrier cap to 0 range. Got it. Sighted some submarines. Probably could have just moved right out. Nah, we would have taken hits. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have it mined. Raboul. So we'll probably wrap up the stream as soon as, if this is an uneventful turn especially. That was a lot of fun. But I think that this is probably even the end of the scenario for us. We have accomplished what we wanted to. Not as effective as my previous attempt. And they're just kind of dancing. They're not really doing anything. Now that we have 2 submarines in the area, we can kind of do this dance where we start moving in to close them out. We could even move in and try to attack them just for fun. But basically, Port Moresby has been safe so far. Oh yeah, let's just take on the cap fatigue, because it was now mentioned by Corvar that the range is what's really causing their fatigue. Their fatigue did drop, but we set it down to 0. I guess this will be a lot more effective. Now this maximum range, though, if I want them to escort things out, if they want to still escort things to the targets, I guess this is not good. But so far they haven't been needed. We don't know what happened to the Shoho. It'd be really nice to know... Oh, what? Engine flooding 1 major? What happened to you? No damage at all on the Yorktown. Maybe just a random event. Good. And their fatigue is also down to 11, which is good to see. Only set carrier fighters beyond range 0 if they're also set to escort bombers, which I think right now they are. That's the unfortunate thing, probably the reason why we're getting a lot of fatigue. Anyway, I don't know if we'll continue this stream right now because I don't have time, basically. But this is kind of like my first video on War in the Pacific as a way of saying we're going to start getting into this game. I'm kind of forcing myself, kicking and screaming to get into it. So, anyway, for those of you who are still interested in chatting or hanging out, we have a pretty good community. Pretty good. It's an okay community. We have a good community, I would say, on my Discord, which is also where the Historical Gamers community is hosted. So it's kind of like our Discord, our shared Discord. I would say most of it's still set up for me, but he does have his own sub-channel there, which I basically just kind of wanted to host that for him, and he allowed me to. So anyway, if you're interested in hanging out a little bit more or talking more about these kind of things or being pinged if I have an upcoming stream or whatever, I suppose you can probably hit subscribe on YouTube. I don't know how that all works, frankly. I subscribe to people and I don't look at notifications ever. I just use that as a reminder of what link. It's essentially the same as bookmark. But we organize multiplayer games there is what I was ultimately going to try to say. And the multiplayer games might be of interest for some people. We've been doing Hearts of Iron. Some Stellaris is planned for the future. We did a little Quiplash as a community fun event. Those kind of things. It's fun to hang out with mature, intelligent people, which is hopefully the kind of people I'm cultivating for that channel. Anyways, that's going to do it for the stream. So thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone for joining. Special thanks to those who helped me with the War in the Pacific mechanics. Corvar and XTRG and everyone else. Iron Duke. Can't remember all the other ones who were helping out off the top of my head. I'm just looking at the few most recent ones. But we had some other people who were also contributing, so thank you. And I will be kind of leaning on you in the future, everyone, the whole community, for learning this game. So I might be doing some other streams. I have actually been doing a few streams on Twitch. My Twitch is kind of like my silent account. I use it only to stream when I don't really want people to see, or just for a select invited few people. The reason I do that is, as I mentioned in the very beginning of the stream, I don't like to play things until I'm comfortable or competent at them. Just because it's not fun for me when I watch other people bumbling through and it's really frustrating. They don't know what they're doing. I try to get at least some basic fundamental understanding of the game, the graphical user interface, how to play it before I do it on stream. So that's kind of how I do things. I don't usually play things as a first look unless I've already played it for like 10 hours. That's my first look on cameras usually. That's not always the case, and I'll always be upfront about that. So for those of you who are interested in this kind of game, again, I'll mention the XTRG and the Historical Gamer, THG, have a wonderful play-by-email series going on. I don't know if there's a good tutorial series on this. Frankly, it's one of the things that I would think about creating myself. For those of you who are interested in this kind of thing, but more at a design level, ship design level, if you know my channel, you probably know Rule the Waves, but I do have a Rule the Waves 2 series going on right now. Feel free to check that out. It's not too late to submit a name, although it may, even though it's not too late to submit the name, it may not appear in the series, since we do have a lot of names. Thanks to everyone for showing up. Jacobo Mangini, nice to always see you, Mangini, Mr. Mangini, Russell, and everyone else. So, that's it for me. Happy Father's Day again, and until the next stream or the next video, take care.